Welcome everyone to another episode from Clueless Insanity. After discussing Olympics, Paralympics, it is time to get back to our bread and butter. It is cricket, and we had a packbuster series in England. Unfortunately, the fifth test didn't happen, but we still had a great series. Um, Four wonderful tests, perfect two teams almost equally matched in their batting and bowling abilities, and it was really juicy contest to see. Joining me today, as always, Amogh, Vishal, and Vignesh. Let us discuss and summarize the series. It's If we eventually decide that this test doesn't happen, it will be a historic series win. Probably already is a historic series win. One that I would argue India dominated, and if the first test also had gone on, we would have the scoreline would have looked 3-1,
Probably one.
which is incredible to hear from an Indian cricket team touring England. So let's start off. Vishal, your thoughts on the games, and then maybe you can pick up from the starting.
Yeah, I think India played really well. It was a four test match series, as we know now. And I thought, except for the third test, we played well the in in all the in the other three tests, and even in the fourth test, it was the first innings which cost us.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, improved performance on English soil after 2011 and 2014. Even in 2018, we were competitive, but we couldn't clinch the key moments. But that was something that we did really well this time around. And our openers should be given a lot of credit. I thought they did a really good job in this series, and that was actually one of the key aspects that made us win two test matches.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Rohit Sharma kept getting better and better, in fact, and KL Rahul started off with a bang, that century in North. So it's one for the ages. I have not seen an Indian opener do that thing. I think it was what our dad saw in like someone like Sunny Gaskar do day in day out. It was nice to see somebody in our generation pull it off as well. Vignesh, your thoughts on the series as well?
I think so. It was a very well fought test series. I think so. There was blow for blow from either side. Yeah, India did dominate because of our versatility. Given our top order batting, in instance the openers, and also our lower order contributing magnificently this time with the bat. We have seen Bumrah, Shami coming out of nowhere, scoring 50s, hitting
Yeah,
sixes. Then you have Shardul Thakur, Lord, playing two magnificent innings when called upon. I think so. This has been the reason why we are 2-1 up. Should have been 3-1. I completely agree, but the reason why we are 2-1 up, I think so. These two missing links. I think so. In previous tours, we have really suffered because our opening batsmen haven't withstood the new ball, or our lower middle order just crumbling. Within a matter of a couple of overs or a couple of delivery, maybe over max they would stand before they succumb. I think so. That has been the real change this year, and that has shown the progress is seen with us winning tests comfortably. You know, and I think so. It comes down to Virat Kohli and the team management really working behind the scenes.
Yeah, we won by big margins, and it seems that London was turned blue,
Yeah.
to say it that way. Although it was, of course, we're all downing the whites. Amog, what Vignesh mentioned here of tail ender contributions is also that these guys were relentless in the bowling. Your thoughts on India and their bowling performance?
Yeah, I think I can't exactly point out what was the difference between the 2018 and 2021 because the bowling was probably similar. I think it's just the way we're so clinical in wiping off their tail. If you see
Yeah.
if you go back to 2018, it was their, not tail, you can call it
lower order,
I would
to
just
be
say
very
Sam Curran.
yeah. Sam Curran, yeah, Sam Curran and Sam Curran and whoever it was, they were just able to extend that 50, 60 runs, and that was the difference in the matches that we lost. So I think somehow they figured out what was the formula to wipe out the tail, and there was no match where the tail wagged much, and that was a difference in the series. Whereas
Yeah.
our tail wagged, and that is again the difference in the series.
Yeah. So it's all about Tailenders' contributions with the bat, Amogh. Let's discuss a big vulnerability, especially exposed in the third match. Vishal, what did you think of the non-performing, so as to speak, 3-4-5 from India?
Yeah, I think the middle order was didn't perform well in the series, but again, we we uh, we are ahead in the series 2-1, and Rahane did score in Lords, the crucial 60-odd runs which won us the game. Pujara was playing better in the later half of the series. Kohli was actually playing well. So so if you ask me, Virat was playing well actually. It's just that there was this one single ball every innings which was getting him out, and that sometimes the luck doesn't go in your favor, and I think that's what happened with Virat this time around. But coming to the number of runs scored by these three, the main batsmen in our middle order, not many runs were scored. But these three are top class players, and I expect them to bounce back.
Yeah, I agree. And not long ago, they have performed. It's just their consistency that is in question, honestly, and not their caliber. Let us also wrap this test session. I will very quickly ask your thoughts on the captaincy. Vignesh, how did you feel Kohli as a leader?
I think so. Kohli took some bold decisions. I think so. It was a big decision to not pick Ashwin throughout the series, and credit to him that he was able to in every match prove his point. I think so. There were a lot of questions going into each match. If you see that, okay, will he be able to manage? Is India a spinner down? With Ravindra Jadeja also not being that effective in terms of being threatening, he was containing but not threatening. But I think so. His decision came to fruition each and every time. I think so. Whether it goes from first test to the fourth test, I think so. He was spot on with his decision making, and also in the crunch moments, in both the second test and the fourth test, where we had to pick 10 wickets on the last day, I think so. His bowling changes, his field setup, and his energy, just his energy in general on the field was elevated the spirit of the team and brought in this fire. And I think so. Generally, we see that in the Australians. This sort of fire, you saw that in the Indians as well, to really go after the opponents and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And yeah, so for me it is a 9 on 10 from my side on Virat's captaincy.
All right, that is quite a bold praise for coming from Vignesh. Anyway, let's wrap this test session, Amogh, with the final question. We have already heard this will be the last series from Ravi Bhai as our coach, and coach as our as this combination. You see that it has brought us lots of crazy victories, something for the ages every series. It's wonderful. What do you think the legacy of this combination of Ravi and Kohli will be for Indian cricket in general and Test cricket in
Yep.
specific?
Well, I can only talk of the Test cricket. I mean, because um, bilateral ODI series and bilateral T20 series don't even have that kind of impact. Only Test bilateral, because it's only bilateral thing that matters is Test. And see, we won that 2018. Uh, once we lost in England, it was very important that we had to rub off the defeat, and first time we conquered Australia. But since then, I think a new India kind of began since the domination in Australia, and to go back and repeat it with a second string or a third string and then to come to England, where we had not conquered England yet. So, I mean,
Long
you've
time.
seen the numbers since in 1990 till 2018. There's hardly any wins by any Indian captains, traveling to uh, England. So that it was very important that, and imagine Virat Kohli has 3 wins, and the next highest captain is 1. So that combination of Ravi Bhai and Virat is going to be one for the ages for sure.
I think I agree. It's not just the fighting spirit; it is also the hunger to win more than just one match in a series. I think that's going to be a lasting legacy. With that done, let's remove the whites on our shirts and put it on our balls. And, what I mean is, we'll shift to the T20 cricket. We're moving to unfamiliar but soon familiar conditions at UAE. IPL has happened there in the past. It happened there recently last year. Now the second half will start very soon. Tomorrow, in fact, when the Mumbai CSK pick it up. What are your thoughts? How excited are you for this second half? Do you think it should have even happened in the first year? And generally, your opinions. Let's start with you, Vishal.
Yeah, super excited for IPL to be back. So the first half is over, and yeah, we have the second half in the UAE. Good preparation for teams before the World Cup, as we know the World Cup is going to be in UAE. But coming to all 8 teams, the happiest of them will be Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals. They like these wickets. Mumbai played most of their matches in Chennai, and they sort of struggled, but now they'll be super happy that they're back to UAE. And yeah, they look like firm favorites to one of the favorites, yeah, to win the title this year as well.
CSK also had a okay series last time. What do you feel, Vignesh? How will it be this time around?
I think so. It's going to be quite an interesting IPL because I think so. A lot of teams that planned for a home IPL tournament will have to then strategize now. I think so. With a long break, I think so. A lot of players also not playing a lot of international cricket as well or domestic cricket as well will be rusty per se. You'll have behind closed door games, practice games, but we all know that the intensity that comes from a proper match is never available in practice. So it'll also be good to see how players come about, how they handle the pressure situations. It's also do or die kind of games. You have 7 games and you have to win like 4 or 3, and coming with very limited practice, it also puts a lot of pressure mentally. And to see certain players, given you also have the squads released for the T20 World Cup, so how that plays into the mind of players who are then want to prove their point in terms of keeping their spot, and for players who want to make a point to also might be push for a possible spot in the final squad for the T20 World Cup. So it'll be a very interesting tournament to look. And it's also something interesting is that these all will be fresh wickets, and it'll also be kind of hot temperatures with dew coming to play. So tactics, strategies are going to be very interesting to see from all 8 teams this time.
Yeah, that's something we are all waiting to observe and also see how they pull out in those final overs. These are the crucial moments as always. Amogh, in the backdrop of leading up to the World T20, how impactful will IPL have in the Indian selectors' mind? How closely do you think they should be following this?
They'll follow it, regardless of whatever we say. They'll definitely be very observant on this. The reason I've always I was saying this before the first phase of the IPL as well. This will be the major point on how the selection happens. There will be some slight reshuffling in the 15. I feel by the end of this IPL for sure. Whatever this report of the selection happened, there will be a little tweak will definitely happen. One person will be a surprise who will just enter into the playing 15. Um, but but the team which we have mainly selected has been over the past 2-3 years. of consistent performance. So yeah, they're well deserved.
Okay, coming back to the IPL itself, it's going to be super tight. Players are likely to also get tired. Will that rub off on the performances in the World T20? Vishal?
Oh,
Good question.
yeah, I think they're professionals, so their time game management is required. But yeah, I don't see it playing a role. They do know their limits and the number of games they have to play. And the World Cup, yeah, is just after the IPL, so workload management is important here. But I don't think it's going to play a huge role, in my opinion.
Okay, and then as always, let's wrap this session with your thoughts. The team that will win, the player to look out for. Vishal, we can begin with you.
Well, I already mentioned it. So I think Mumbai Indians start favorites because they are the back to the place where they have the best balanced team.
Yeah.
And the biggest plus for them is Adam Milne. He had an outstanding 100. So yeah, so he's with the Mumbai Indians and gives them another option on these UAE wickets, especially in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So yeah, so either Mumbai Indians or Delhi Capitals, in my opinion, should win the IPL with the team that they have.
Amogh?
I will like always support my favorite team. That will be RCB, and the player to look out for is Virat Kohli. He will be he will come back to form. It's
Right.
now or never, and it is never for him. So he will definitely do it.
Third match is 930 runs. Let's see. No, just joking. Vignesh, your team to look out.
For me, I think the DC have a good chance. I think so. This should be their year, possibly to win, because they have done consistently well over the past 3 years. Last year, finalists. I think so. This year they should be vying for the championship, and I think so. With Shreyas Iyer also back, I think so. It also is a huge boost for their side. So yeah, I believe I believe DC have a huge chance of lifting the trophy this year.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so three people, three different choices. What happens, we will see it on the screens anyway. It's been a lovely journey talking to you guys, and let's see. And that's all from us today. Thank you for watching.
My question to you, Akshar, who do you think will win? And who's the
Who I
player
want to win, I think that is obvious. It is still RCB. Who I think will win is actually, I also feel DC can pull it off finally. Um, they're getting only stronger. These guys are young guns, and they're raring to come to form. And most of those players have also been playing white ball cricket, so I think it will be interesting to see how they eventually perform as a team. But I have a good feeling.
Okay, so I have one last question to ask all of you guys as well.
Yeah.
What is your top four? Predict it right now.
Oh, that's
Top four teams.
I'm doing better job than I am. Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, you can start off, Akshar. You can start off.
I can
Akshar.
start off. Yeah, my top four, I say not in this order, but it's Mumbai, DC, RCB, CSK.
Okay. Same. Do you feel it's the same, Vishal, or any other change in this?
Well, I support KKR, so yeah, somehow I'm going to sneak in KKR to the fourth position. But I think the top three teams are going to be Mumbai, DC, and RCB, in my opinion. And I support KKR. So KKR coming in fourth, yeah, somehow managing, yeah, to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they have a good chance.
They do. They still have a solid team.
Hopefully, yeah.
They have a good chance. Vignesh, you?
For me, it will be CSK, DC, Mumbai. I think so. For the fourth spot, it's quite open. I feel it could be down to KKR or RCB vying for that fourth spot. So I think so. For the fourth spot, it's an open field. I think so. Who performs the best in the coming 6-7 games. I think so they would capture that place.
Okay. Amogh, for you?
So for me, it's a no-brainer. I feel it's the same that Akshar said. There will be CSK. CSK is definitely going to. They are in stupendous form, so they'll probably make it 1 or 2. Yeah, then they're lethal, and 2 will be probably RCB or DC, something like that. Third and fourth, that will be changed between RCB and Mumbai Indians. So that'll how it'll end. The other teams will fight for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th spot.
Anyway,
I think so. The wooden spoon is sort of already sort of finalized at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it from us. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.